Well, thank you, Hugh, and welcome to a stadium steeped in history. And if you're not of a certain generation, Nottingham Forest exploits and extraordinary accomplishments might not resonate as they do with those of us who are in perhaps our late 40s, early 50s. Forest, the name, that of a club who achieved so much rather than that of a team who spent nearly a generation trying to return to the top table. And sat here in the Peter Taylor stand with the Brian Clough stand staring down at us from the far side, it's easy to recall the days when Forest weren't underdogs in any game, when a provincial team from the Midlands were the kings of Europe. But even in their pomp, they couldn't crack the FA Cup. One final, all they had to show for their efforts, and their wait to regain this trophy is now into a 7th decade. Since their last appearance at the final in the early 90s, Arsenal have lifted the cup 9 times, unparalleled success in a competition that has at times been a saving grace, particularly amidst the last decade with its other frustrations. And whilst the Gunners have been on the wrong end of some FA Cup headlines in the past, think York and Wrexham and the godfather of cup shocks against Walsall back in the 1930s, this is a hurdle they invariably navigate with ease. In 24 of the last 25 seasons, they have made it through the 3rd round. The exception, 2018. The fixture, Nottingham Forest away. 4 years on, they meet again. But such has been a high turnover and revolution of both clubs that only 2 of the starters from that day feature tonight. Joe Worrell, who was sent off that day for Forest, and Arsenal's Rob Holding, whose return to the 11 here is one of 7 Gunners changes. Forest give debuts to Steve Cook and Keenan Davis after their moves from Bournemouth and Villa, and Ryan Yates returns. It's Samba, Worrell, Cook and McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner and Colback, Johnson and Zinchenko behind Davis. Arsenal are without 4 of the side that lost to Man City, and they retain another 3. Leno, Cedric White, Holding and Tavares, full debutant Patino and Lokonga, Saka, Erdegaard and Martinelli, and Nketiah. Nottingham Forest red shirts and white shorts, and Arsenal in all white, and they will kick from right to left in this first half. Forest defending the tread end away to our left hand side, and before kick-off, players from both sides unite to take the knee. There is no room for racism. Well, no sides had more success in the FA Cup than Arsenal, and their quest for a record-extending 15th success in this competition begins at a venue that has proved their undoing in the not-too-distant past. Few clubs can claim to match the far-reaching improvement that Nottingham Forest have enjoyed over the last few months, but can they take the headlines again by repeating that 2018 success? Trevor Sinclair alongside me in the East Midlands. Fine night for football, and it's an engaging cup tie ahead of us in prospect.
Absolutely, and I think it's worth mentioning why Arsenal are wearing the all-white kit in the fight against knife crime. I think it's a fantastic initiative, and hopefully everyone buys into that. Yeah, it's quite unusual seeing Arsenal in a white kit. It just seems weird, and good luck, by the way, knowing the players that are on the ball, because you cannot distinguish the numbers on the back of the shirts.
The kit looks absolutely resplendent.
Yeah.
With that one rider, but numbers might have helped. Listen, I understand exactly why they are barely visible. It is a free kick which will be taken by Nuno Tavares right in front of us for Arsenal.
Done well, Tavares. You know, when Kieran Tierney's not been playing, I think he's filled that role very well, and unfortunate to lose his position, but getting the opportunity tonight.
And it's Cedric who's able to bring it forward for Arsenal down the right-hand side. The winners of this one at home to Leicester City in round 4. 4th round draw, which we heard a few minutes ago, which has thrown up some very entertaining ties in prospect, including Kidderminster at home to West Ham. Wow. The biggest FA Cup tie Kidderminster have ever had. A 5th round game against West Ham United back in 1994, and in the 4th round they beat Preston, the only 4th round tie they've ever had. They beat Preston And in the Preston side that day, David Moyes. So it'll be an interesting trip back to Agberet for him.
Great scenes in the dressing room after that win yesterday. Are they a National North or a National South team?
National North.
Wow, brilliant achievement. Well done, boys.
Absolutely. So that's Division 6, effectively.
We know it well.
Yeah, don't be just first-hand experience of it. The ball is out of play for a throw that the Flamehead Colback will take for Nottingham Forest, midway inside their own half over on the far touchline. It's thrown forward towards Keenan Davis and goes out of play for a throw. Are you surprised that Keenan Davis has been thrown straight into the Nottingham Forest starting lineup, bearing in mind that Lewis Grabban, the top scorer, is the man that has made way for him?
I am, top goal scorer at the club. Grabban leads by example. I think Steve Cooper said many good things about him, but why not, the occasion, given the opportunity to show the player he's valued at the football club. He's not just being brought in to make up the numbers and be a super sub. And I think it gives him a lot of responsibility, but with responsibility, he can get great performances.
And here's the other new signing, Steve Cook, spraying one wide for Jed Spence, who's unlucky. But after the ball had drifted over the shoulder of Tavares, he couldn't quite bring it under clean control. And he drifts out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Arsenal left-hand side. And a very good morning and afternoon to you in the United States. Listening to us on Sirius XM FC 157 today. I hope you're enjoying TalkSport's coverage of the greatest cup competition in world football. This the 8th of 9 ties that we'll bring you over the course of this FA Cup 4th round weekend, and it concludes tomorrow. It's live and exclusive on TalkSport. 5-8 kick-off at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Aston Villa, playing for the right to host Middlesbrough in round 4. We'll reiterate that draw for you in a few minutes. But here's Zinchenko finding Davis, and he's played back towards Zinchenko inside the penalty area, led off his line very quickly, and he saves at the feet of the Nottingham Forest man. It's good goalkeeping because he had to be very alert, sprinting off his line and just getting there towards the right-hand edge of his penalty area. But that was excellent passing football to Steve Cooper way for Forest.
It was, Zinchenko, I thought it was a bit heavy with his touch, put too much angle on the ball. If that's a little bit less angle and a little bit lighter, I think Arsenal have got problems there, and that could have been a goal-scoring opportunity. But good play from Davis, getting the ball down on his chest, showing his physicality, good touch, playing the way he's facing, and then getting involved in the next phase.
Arsenal have it at the back with Cedric in his yellow boots, and he finds Ben White. White to Cedric again, not too far outside the penalty area, and then White will be able to play it forward. It's a nice little flick off from Ødegaard before Lokonga is fouled in the midfield, and a free kick which will be taken by Arsenal about 15 yards inside their own half. No shocks earlier today, although Spurs and Liverpool were given frights of varying degrees, both trailing their respective games by a goal to nil at one stage. Spurs are leaving it to the last 20 minutes before rectifying that situation at home to Morecambe. But Spurs and Liverpool are both through, and Luton, Cardiff, Norwich, Stoke, West Ham and Wolves have all won their respective ties today as well. Arsenal in possession here. Again, back inside their own half, but only briefly. It's Rob Holding, plays it down towards Tavares. He's got Martinelli making a run up the left-hand side for him. But Spence is there first for Forest, the young defender on loan from Middlesbrough, and he's defended it really well. He just feinted to play it up the line, hesitated a moment, and then whacked it into Martinelli, so it goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest ball. 6 gone, it's 0-0, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, I think both Spence and Colback, the wing-backs from Nottingham Forest, will have a really important job to do tonight, because we know that Saka and Martinelli are going to stay high and wide, and I don't think that Worrell or McKenna want one-on-one situations in them wide areas, so their starting position today, and I'm sure Steve Cooper's done the work with them, is going to be ultra important. Don't get too high, especially if that 3 of the Arsenal forwards are keeping nice and high and wide. Make sure you give yourself a chance to get back in and help the wide centre halves.
Well, Arsenal had a free kick, which the Forest players weren't too happy about. It's going to be taken a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline, and about 12 yards adrift at the edge of the penalty area. Steve Cooper still chuntering away at it, hands outstretched, in dialogue from a distance with 4th official Kevin Friend. Chance for Ødegaard to swing this in. There are 5 ready to attack it on the edge of the penalty area, and it's hit in invitingly near the penalty spot. It's going to be chased over on the right-hand side and kept in by Tavares, and he will pull it back for Lokonga. Good ball forward from him. An opportunity from the edge of the penalty area, which is driven harmlessly wide by Ben White, only a very rare goal scorer. And he was unable to add to his tally there. But Arsenal with the majority of possession in the early stages. Forest neat and tidy though, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, defended that situation really well. Quite a high line from the free kick by Odegaard, which was excellently delivered. Really dangerous ball, but I think the defending from the Forest players, just blocking players, was outstanding.
Forest able to bring it forward. Zinkanaga to Johnson, just in behind Garner, but he was able to run round it and keep possession alive. Exchanges passes with Scott McKenna, the Scotsman, who's making the 200th senior appearance of his career today, playing on the left of Forest's back three, and then Spence again will play for into Tavares, and the deflection almost hits manager Steve Cooper, and then as the ball's thrown back from the Forest fans, that almost hits the Forest manager as well, and twice he has to take evasive action in the space of a couple of seconds. Now Spence's foul, and it's a free kick which will be taken on the Nottingham Forest right.
Yeah, a little bit of a hospital ball into him there. He had to step across it just to defend the ball with his body. Did that really well, and Martinelli couldn't resist himself from going for the challenge. Easy free kick for the referee.
8 minutes gone, it's 0-0. The Congolese international goalkeeper Samba getting it forward for Forest. Arsenal winning it back at the heart of their defence with Rob Holding. He played in the 4-2 defeat here that Arsenal suffered in the third round 4 years ago. As did Joe Worrell, who comes back in with a timely interception, has half cleared his lines towards the edge of the penalty area, but the Congos won it back, and Odegaard will just work it into the feet. Ball chipped over the top, and Kedia made the run, but it's knocked away easily enough by Worrell. Forward towards Keenan Davis, that's excellent control. Now he can try and play in Johnson, but it was well read by Holding, and he just stepped up from the defensive line, got his left foot in, and there's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on between Johnson and Keenan Davis, who then squared up to each other again. Davis fired up here on his Nottingham Forest debut, and the two of them will just be spoken to by referee Craig Pawson.
I've got to say, I absolutely love that from the centre forward. I think Davis got hold of the ball really well initially, got his body in the way, shielded the ball, and him and Holding came together. He put a lot of pressure on Holding, and Holding conceding a throw-in. But that's brilliant. You've got a competitor out ready to show no respect. I think he's going to foul away there, but show no respect and make sure that the centre half knows he's going to be in for a really important role with the one up top. As the out ball, it needs to be a great focal point, and already in this game he's shown on a couple of occasions.
Well, that's an excellent ball over the top down the Arsenal right-hand side. Saka has been able to pick it up. He's got Eddie Nketiah making his way into the middle, and it's really well read by Spence, who can come out and then withstand the first couple of challenges, and now bring it away. The right back out on the left wing by the time that he was fouled. Cedric, the man that stopped him getting any further. That's excellent play by Jed Spence, but that's a moment that epitomises the way that Steve Cooper sets Nottingham Forest up. And it's an observation rather than a criticism, but under Chris Hughton, Spence wouldn't have been given the licence to pick the ball up there and run 40 yards through the midfield.
You've got to have that freedom, Jim, because at times you might see, for whatever reason, a player might be out of position. There'll be a big hole in the middle of the pitch. He's come across really well, ended up picking up a second ball, which, listen, second balls sometimes are frowned upon. They're what give you possession of the football, and he's drove, and as soon as you see a right-footed player running up left wing, you know he's going to try the nutmeg. He gets away with it with Cedric. Cedric takes him down. Brilliant play.
Well, that's a back pass and a half from Nuno Tavares. It was going wide. He has absolutely laced it back towards Bernd Leno, who clearly couldn't try and catch it, didn't fancy getting his head to it, took it on his left shoulder and diverted it out of play for the first quarter of the afternoon, which Jimmy Garner's going to come across the top.
Well, that's a back pass where it's almost like you don't like the goalkeeper. Deal with that. He had no chance of getting that down. I don't think Peter Crouch would have been able to bring that down on his chest. Corner for Forest.
Garner to take it, left arm raised, and it's an away swinger towards the penalty spot, which is well cleared. It was Rob Holding that got his head to it. Now it's a free kick which will be taken anyway. I think Holding was given a shove. That's about the fourth instalment of the Davis-Holding battle, which is going to take some watching. Arsenal play it forward. Cedric Towards Bukayo Saka on the Gunners' right-hand side. A space left by Colback. It's laid it back for Cedric instead. Cedric to Lokonga. And then back to Cedric again. Now Ben White's got it. And White works it back behind square to Rob Holding. And Arsenal in all white, kicking from right to left and able to play it forward again. It's a good long switch of play. Martinelli bringing it down. Getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Checking back, laying it on the outside for Patino, who slides in, who got a last touch there, who's judged to come back from Spence's challenge into Patino, and out of play for a goal kick which will be taken away to our left-hand side. It is still goalless. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport. Thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label. And here's Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, dangerous situation. We mentioned it earlier. Joe Worrell defending his box against Martinelli, running at him towards the edge of the 18-yard box. He did really well just to delay him and show him inside, and he had bodies there. And then excellent work from Spence to challenge for that next ball and win a goal kick to his side and just take all that pressure off. There's a lot of belief in this Forest side. You won't believe they've lost the last 2 games because they look like a team that's full of confidence. I think, we question why Davis was brought in. I think he's answered that already. His hold-up play has been exceptional. He's pushing the centre-halves around, making sure that his physicality is felt from the defenders who might not be used to that in the Premier League. So this will be a different challenge for the 2 centre-halves as well. It was a Holding and White.
Yeah, those 2 defeats coming against an in-form Middlesbrough team up on Teesside, and then Huddersfield beat them here by a goal. I think that was maybe also part of the thinking, with Forest having failed to score in each of those games, that Keenan Davis has come in, and he's got the ball now. And he's controlled it and brings it onto his left foot. He's relatively inexperienced, but he has played in a cup final, a League Cup final, in his career already for Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think the situation there, you looked at it, Colbeck, he didn't really have that time to get in behind and have the ball between the centre-half and the full-back. So what you've got to do is check your run and keep that passing angle open. He didn't do that, and in the end, Davis, probably with his inexperience, tried to force the ball and it was easy to bend. Colbeck should help him a little bit there by making sure that passing lane's open.
Notwithstanding those 2 defeats that Forest have had that we've just talked about, their form's been excellent. Yeah. When Steve Cooper took over, they were bottom. They'd taken 4 points in the first 8 games. Under Cooper, if the season had started then, they would be 3rd in the table with 8 wins and 3 defeats.
Yeah, I think everyone realises that the great job and the reaction that he's had out of this pretty much the same group of players. Obviously, he's brought in Steve Cook and Cooper recently, Davis recently. But all in all, it's been the same squad that he's been getting a song out of, and they've been producing really good performances and wins, more importantly. 9th in the table, not far outside the playoffs, and this kind of match fixture against Arsenal, a big Premier League team, inform themselves into the Manchester City loss. This will be a massive feather in their cap, and it might be the springboard, like we said earlier, to take them into a really good run in the Championship.
Yeah, Arsenal's 4 very good, 5 wins and 6 in all competitions, 15 goals in the last 4 games, and they've lost one of those. And don't forget, coming up, Liverpool away in the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. That's on Thursday, and we've got that game for you live right here on TalkSport. Now it's a free kick which will be taken by Arsenal, the Conga foul. That is an area where there are potential problems for Arsenal. Lokonga and Patino, 2 fine players for the future, undoubtedly, but it is an area that is deficient in terms of several of Arsenal's big hitters at the moment because of the African Cup of Nations and various other reasons. No Xhaka today, no El Neni, no Partey. So it'll be interesting to see how the 2 of them get on in tandem.
Big responsibility, both very young players, and they've got a big job on their hands. There was a tackle there, Zinganago put in. It was nowhere near the ball, but that's letting the opposition know you're there. Seeing if these young pups can deal with a bit of physicality.
Erdegaard out towards Cedric over on the far touchline, which is the Arsenal right-hand side. Now it's worked back into a deeper position in the midfield, and a chance for Holding to stride forward. He hasn't been closed down, so he's been able to find Martinelli on the left-hand side of the box. He's taking on Spence, a little deflection on the cross, which loops away and goes out for Arsenal's first corner.
Yeah, good defending. You don't want to let Martinelli step in on his right foot there, because he's got a fantastic right boot coming in from that left hand side. He's going to shoot, he's going to put the ball into dangerous areas. He's shown him down the outside and then matched that and got good deflection on it to put it out for a corner. Well done, Spence.
16 intriguing minutes behind us, but we're still waiting for the first attempt on target of the game. Will it come from this first Arsenal corner, which is worked in short? Tavares laid back towards the edge of the penalty area for Ødegaard, left-footed ball in from him, and it was just too high and only just for holding. Samba came out and caught it and then bowls it out, and Keenan Davis making his way forward, was upended in the midfield. No, the referee ran towards it, looked as though he was going to give the free kick and then waved play on.
Well, Craig Pawson couldn't have had a better position. He was about 10 yards behind the action there, and he believed that when Davis got the ball out of his feet, Ødegaard got something on the ball, and it was play on. Well done to Craig Pawson.
Tavares will take a throw.
I thought that was a Forest throw as well.
Yeah, you weren't the only one. To be played for by Holding here. But Forest quickly win the seconds, and then Garner with a lovely take on the chest, and then a top of the boot ball out towards the right hand side for Johnson. Johnson running inside the penalty area, left-footed ball clipped in, but Colback busting the gut, couldn't get there. Garner will be able to pick it up. A fine player he looks. Spence now, faced up by Martinelli, laid back through the midfield for Yates. And then Ryan Yates gets a return ball again. He's got Spence ahead of him, worked it into the feet instead of Johnson. Player rated at £14 million, as he was saying in the build-up. No shortage of suitors. I'm just waiting for the day in January where a player has been talked about a transfer and isn't linked with Newcastle. Here's Colback bringing it forward. Down through the right-hand side of the midfield, it's Worrell who then plays it down the touchline, and it's turned out of play for a throw that will be taken by Spence. And Forest have laid a really good foundation in this game, but Arsenal with a slight advantage in terms of possession, able to bring it forward now. Martinelli fancies his chances in a foot race against Worrell, but he didn't have too much room to work with. He nudged it past him that time, having got goal side of Spence. He just tapped it out of play effectively. It's a throw which will be taken on the Forest right-hand side. 0-0.
Good positioning from Worrell, making sure that if he's going to knock it too far past him, he's not got the angle to keep it in play, and it's exactly what Martinelli did. He tried to knock it that far past him that he could use his speed, but the ball ran out of play. But what a ball from Garner. Everyone will look at the ball from Garner and say superb ball, but I think what the foundations that Steve Cooper's laid down is Forest can't play to feet all the time, and it was a fantastic run behind by Johnson. As soon as the ball was in that area, I was thinking, take one touch and put it in the box. Unfortunately, he didn't, and Arsenal were able to get set. The defence was able to get set. Take a touch and put it in an area. Let the lads get on the end of it. I would like to see him do that in the future.
Worrell's ball forward here, controlled well by Zinkernagel to Davis, and then Spence ever willing to make his way down the right-hand side. It's a lovely step over from him, and then another, and he's claiming with some justification that he was fouled, and the assistant referee Dan Cook on this near touchline agrees, and it's a free kick here to Forest, which will be taken about 6 or 7 yards to the right-hand edge of the penalty area, and this is a really good position for them.
Yeah, I think the telltale sign is that Martinelli stood on his boot and his boot fell off.
But might just have given it away that contact was made.
He's done well down this right-hand side, Spence. Him and Johnson dovetailing really well. Who gets forward? The other one sitting in. We used to call it sitting for you, mate. If he goes past you, you sit in and take his role, and they've done that really well. Good understanding between the wideman and the right wing back, so to speak.
Well, Garner stands over this free kick. Martinelli is a one-man wall. Davis, the biggest of the targets, there to attack it. Ball didn't get past the wall. Appeals for handball, but there's literally nowhere that Martinelli could put his arms other than where they were, really, legitimately, and there's no way that was going to be given as another free kick. Garner will be frustrated because a player of his quality would expect to be able to deliver a better set piece than that.
I think he was trying to keep it quite low, the trajectory, and he needs to just either miss that angle out, which was well positioned by Martinelli, or get a little bit more air in the ball.
Wins in the FA Cup today for Luton, Cardiff after extra time, Norwich, Liverpool, who were a goal down at home to Shrewsbury at one stage, Spurs, who were a goal down at home to Morecambe for a while, Stoke West Ham beat Leeds and Wolves saw off Sheffield United in the African Cup of Nations with 20 minutes to go, the opening game. Cameroon had come from behind in that one and lead Burkina Faso by 2-1. This one is 0-0 in the FA Cup, live on TalkSport, with Jim Bradford and Trevor Sinclair talking you through the action from the East Midlands. And Forest are in possession but inside their own half as Worrell, blonde-haired defender, goes back to his goalkeeper Samba. He will be able to play it out, and now Steve Cook, who's got a wonderful range of passing himself, looks for a long 60-yard Hollywood ball out towards Spencer, nearly found him. Tavares is able to bring it forward. Yates comes across and just blocks off his run, and Tavares half thought about complaining that the arms were a little bit too high, but nothing was given. Zinkernagel, who's very neat and tidy, the attacking midfielder on loan from Watford, starting this latest Forest move. It goes back before he goes forward. McKenna's high ball over the top. Here's Colback, left-hand side of the Arsenal penalty area. Pull back for Zinkernagel. And a right-footed shot which just takes a little looping deflection off Lokonga and is easily saved away to our right-hand side by Bernd Leno. It's 0-0.
Again, great understanding of the formation and what you're trying to achieve. The ball goes into the left wing-back and McKenna, and straight away you can see that Colback's got a man right marking him really close. He spins out and there's a big space in behind. Excellent play from Nottingham Forest there just to break the lines and cause Arsenal a real problem in their final third.
Tomorrow night it's Manchester United against Aston Villa. It's live and exclusive to TalkSport from Old Trafford tomorrow. Wednesday, Spurs against Chelsea, Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. Spurs with plenty of work to do. That's on TalkSport. Thursday, Arsenal go to Liverpool in the first leg of their semi-final. And then next Saturday, Game Day Live has it all, starting with Manchester City against Chelsea, again exclusive to TalkSport. 12:30 Saturday lunchtime with Game Day Live starting for you at 11 o'clock. And here and now it's 0-0 and largely chanceless up to this point, but it's been a decent spectacle. Forest working forward again. It's going to be easy for White to be able to mop up. He's just laid it back for Bernd Leno, who is having to concentrate on cup football these days. A player who missed the FA Cup final success back in 2020 because he had a thigh injury at the time and missed that game against Chelsea, but he's been playing in the domestic cup ties this season with Ramsdale in the league.
Yeah, credit to Ramsdale, his form's been exceptional.
Well, hasn't it just? Still, you see less than a goal a game and clean sheets in more than half of his Arsenal appearances so far. Cedric able to play it forward here. Knocked away comfortably at the back by Steve Cook for Forest. Man, made nearly 400 appearances for Wolves. It's going to be a great acquisition here, just for the experience and the leadership that he brings.
Holden and White must be thinking, we've got our hands full tonight, because every time the ball goes up towards Keenan Davis, he is an absolute menace, causing havoc between the two centre-halves. He's a bully, he's a big guy, he's putting himself about, and he realises what his role is in the team, and he's doing it exceptionally well there again for Forest.
I think back to one of the number 9s of days gone by here at the City Ground, Kevin Campbell, and similar kind of, yeah. I mean, he's a little bit taller than Kevin, and
Kev was an absolute machine. You know, his physicality, his pace, his understanding when to come to feet and when to back off and spinning behind.
Tavares going back to Rob Holding, now picked up by Patino in the midfield, who's making his first senior start today, having come off the bench and scored in that League Cup victory against Sunderland just before Christmas. Ball now goes out towards Bukayo Saka. Saka taking on Colback, and a little injection of tempo finds Ødegaard. Ødegaard trying to thread it back through. Cook knocks it away, then appeals for an offside. Nothing given, and Arsenal the next phase of play, a little bit deeper, will be able to build again with Lokonga finding Patino. Patino working it out wide towards Nuno Tavares. And then he comes back from him through the midfield towards Rob Holding. Ben White's got it now on the left-hand side of the centre circle. He just stops for a moment, trying to engage Zinkernagel. Threads it past him to find Patino. And Patino takes a touch, and then his second works it out to his right-hand side for Ødegaard. Ødegaard is put under a little bit of pressure by Yates and is able to play it back to Cedric. Cedric now back towards the edge of the centre circle, and Arsenal can build from a deeper position with Ben White. White to Martinelli, out towards Tavares. Tavares will cross in with his right foot, and it's come off the top of McKenna's head, and then it's cleared by Cook, and then a right-footed shot is wayward, and actually hits the corner flag and goes out of play for a throw. It was Rob Holding that took it on. And it was almost a great pass to the corner flag because it nearly stopped dead, in which case Saka might have been able to pick it up. As it was, it just goes down as the bad shot that in reality it was, and it's a throw which will be taken by Colback on the Nottingham Forest left-hand side. You would talk sport, and these are the thoughts of former England international Trevor Sinclair.
Well, I think initially from that first phase of the attack, I thought Colback stuck to task really well. Ended up stopping a pass, I think it was through towards Coutinho or Saka to try and stop him getting the reverse pass. Did really well, and a little bit of pressure. Ball went into White. He's got to bounce that pass, get it back, change the picture. He's just stood on the ball doing nothing. He needs a trigger to set a trigger off for his teammates to make a movement, and if he does that bounce pass, that will get that kind of reaction from his teammates. But again, good play, good unit play from this Nottingham Forest side. 5 at the back, 4 out of possession, and you can see the units working really well together.
And here's Brennan Johnson bringing it forward for Forest down the right-hand side. His ball in was easily knocked away by Lokonga, and then Yates down towards the corner flag. Zinchenko has it, and he will run at the begloved Tavares, stands the ball up towards the far post, and the smallest man on the field, Cedric, is there to head it away for a corner.
I'm just looking at Steve Cooper now, and he'll be thinking to Colback, why are you not going in at that far post, attacking that? You against Cedric, I fancy you, especially when you've got the run and he's already in there, he's static. Go and challenge for that ball and get yourself a goal at the far post.
So second Forest corner, the first from the left-hand side. It's going to be Colback, away swinger. Davis stands right in front of Leno. Arsenal defending zonally. Ball in towards the near post where Worrell had made a run. It comes out for Zinchenko, takes a touch, then a second, and then he's robbed before he could get a shot in. And now Arsenal might be able to break forward quickly. Ball played out towards Martinelli. And Forest did well to get the bodies back quickly and get the shake back behind the ball. Excellent play by McKenna because he quickly got goal side of Martinelli to stop any quick break down the left-hand side.
Yeah, he's no slouch. Scott McKenna opened his legs there and matched Martinelli really well and just stopped that counter-attack in his tracks. Excellent way. And good understanding of the scenario, because if he gets onto that ball and gets past McKenna, there's problems there for Forest.
Arsenal in possession in the midfield. Nketiah working it out towards Ødegaard. Saka then back for Ødegaard again in his yellow boots, just glistening under the Trent side floodlights here at the City ground. Arsenal attacking the end away to our left-hand side, which is the Trent end, the river flowing just behind it, separating the City ground from its near neighbour Meadow Lane. Now a ball played inside the penalty area, and Eddie Nketiah has it, and he takes a touch back outside the box. Play grounds to a halt just for a moment, then Nketiah works the angle, fires one in towards the near post, and it's taking a touch off a Forest player somewhere between there and goal, whether Samba came across and just got a glove to it, or whether it took a touch from the nearest Forest defender as it was fired in. I'm not too sure. The net result is the same though, and it's an Arsenal corner which will be taken out on the Gunners' right-hand side. 0-0. Yeah,
Nketiah's been quiet, but he stood his defender up there, just stopped the ball, couple of little tricks, stepped inside and got his shot off early on his left side. Decent effort, obviously deflected for a corner, but nice sharp play and good confidence there from Nketiah.
He scored in all 3 of his domestic cup ties this season, Eddie Nketiah, including that hat-trick against Sunderland in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. And he's one of the targets here inside the penalty area. Very congested 6-yard box. It's swung in, well headed away by the Forest back line. I think it was Yates that got his head to it. And it'll be played forward intelligently back to him, and an opportunity to break. He's then fouled by Ben White. It was Garner, in fact, and the referee says there was no foul. Garner ending up on the deck. And the referee was quite happy. Play will be allowed to continue with Arsenal bringing it forward as White works it in towards the feet of Lokonga. It's a big night for him as well. He's not started any of the last 8 games. He had that run in the side not too long after signing, but the Belgian international losing his place when Granit Xhaka was available again. You think that Lokonga's going to get a fair few miles on the clock over the next 3-4 weeks or so. Tavares trying to work it past Jed Spence, couldn't do so, and it's gone out for a throw which will be taken on the Arsenal left-hand side. They have beaten Forest twice in the FA Cup, and they've gone on to lift the trophy on both occasions. They won here in 1979 with a goal from a wonderful striker, Frank Stapleton, and then they also won at Highbury in 1993 with 2 goals from another fine Arsenal striker, Ian Wright.
He weren't bad.
No, not bad. He's here again today. He played for both of these clubs, of course. An opportunity for Arsenal to bring it forward here with Ødegaard out to the right-hand side. He's laid back towards the edge of the penalty area, and Samba at full stretch diving away to his left-hand side. Can't save a shot which took a deflection on its way through. It's another corner which will be taken over on the Arsenal right. And the Gunners are contemplating making a substitution, and Tierney is going to be coming on.
Yeah, I know Tavares took one in the mouth early. At least Craig Pawson's consistent with that pullback there on Spence.
Ødegaard from the corner taking short inside the penalty area, and it's another effort that comes in. His Colback and deflects away for another corner. And Arsenal just having a little flurry of them at the moment, and still the Gunners have got Tierney waiting, but he's not going to come on just yet.
Is it going to be an injury, or is this tactical? He wants to change the shape. Be interesting to see who comes off, because I don't see anyone looking injured in the Arsenal side at the moment.
Another corner will be taken over on the far touchline. Only 32 minutes in, and it's swung in very deep. Oh, Samba, it's a good claim in the end. As he came out, it was just drifting over his shoulder, and the reality is he might have been able to let it go and it would have drifted straight out of play for a goal kick, but he got his right hand to it. He looked as though he was going to be able to take it in one hand. He just spilt it a little bit, but deserved the luck that he got as it bounced down into the ground. He was much closer than any Arsenal player and then able to pick it up. Ball played by Forest's goalkeeper, out from the back via Cook to Worrell, and back for Samba again, who takes it out towards the edge of the D and goes long, looking for Keenan Davis, who's beaten in the air by White. Davis has got it again, and then it'll be played all the way back to Samba from the Forest midfielder Yates.
Just that's the option you've got when you've got a Davis in the side. It was a little bit heavy from Samba, the ball into him. He's asking him to just drop it into his chest. The screening plays for Arsenal are deep enough so they can't stop that ball. He just needs to have a bit better delivery from Samba, and that's an easy out, missing lines, getting the ball in good control with the centre forward Davis, but he needs to try and get better accuracy with his passing.
Okay, well, the change is being made, and it is seemingly a straight swap at left back. Tierney for Tavares. It's a little bit disconsolate as he removes his right glove and unties his hair as he leaves the field. I just wonder whether that is tactical rather than an injury. It is early, but I mean, it's not as if Tavares is being on toast for Spence and Johnson. He's not happy at all as he makes his way back to the Arsenal dugout beneath us and sits down, low fives with all of the other Arsenal substitutes. So I just wonder whether that is a tactical change.
I think he's matching him up. I think Arteta doesn't like the way the game's going and wants to match up the Forest shape, backing his players to be better than the Forest players.
So on that basis, he's got Tierney playing on the left of 3 centre-halves and Martinelli as a left wing-back. Is that how you see it?
Potentially, or Cedric could be playing as a right centre-half.
And Tierney at the left wing-back. Saka
as a right wing-back.
Yeah. Well, Tierney and Holding are just in discussion. I think the gist of the discussion from Rob Holding was, what are we doing here? But seemingly he's been told.
There was an elbow into the face, or he got caught in the face as well, Tavares, earlier. Craig Pawson didn't think there was any kind of real contact, so he let play on, but he might have taken a knock from that as well, so we don't know. It'll be interesting to find out the reasons afterwards, because that is an early substitution.
10 minutes to go to half-time. And Samba will clear from our left-hand side. Still hasn't had a worthwhile save to make so far. 35 minutes gone. It's 0-0 here on TalkSport. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label. Tierney, forward for Martinelli. A couple of yards in from the left-hand side. Back from Tierney again to Martinelli. Spence shuffling across, trying to stop the cross coming in. When it does, Steve Cook can gobble it up and knock it away very easily for Forest. Cedric will now pick it up on the right-hand side for Arsenal and will bring it forward. working into the feet of Ødegaard, who's been playing very wide over on that far side and then drifting into positions. Lokonga chipped inside the penalty area for Eddie Nketiah by Saka and then knocked away. Forrest working away towards Keenan Davis, who's so good at being able to hold it up. And then Yates takes a touch in the midfield and loses possession. And Arsenal have it back again about 10 yards outside the Forest penalty area. Ødegaard, Tierney, left-footed ball clipped in from him, chested down by Saka and volleyed away by Yates, and then Davis will chase after it, but Ben White is there and goes aerially but safely 30 yards back to his goalkeeper, Ben Leno.
Yeah, he's keeping the centre-halves on the toes, both Holding and White. As soon as the ball comes anywhere near him, even in possession, you can see they're on tender hooks because they know Davis is a workhorse and he's going to be putting them under some kind of pressure. Yates has just got to check his shoulder there. Great work from Davis, holding the ball up, bringing Yates into play. If he checks his shoulder, he can turn out and look for Spencer on his right hand side. He doesn't, he takes a touch, and that's a trigger for the Arsenal midfielders to go and dispossess him. Just check that shoulder, first touch on your back foot, and all of a sudden you're out onto this right wing with Spencer, who's been exceptional in this first, 37, 38 minutes of the game.
Another free kick given Arsenal's way, and another that falls into the category of soft in the eyes of the Nottingham Forest coaching staff, who are very quick to berate Kevin Friend by proxy for the decision that had been made by Craig Pawson. Martinelli's got the ball at his feet. And still, Charlie Patino, it's very critical when you're talking of an 18-year-old making his full debut, saying that he can't really get into the game as if that is a harsh criticism of him. It's not meant that way, it's just an observation really, but he hasn't been able to influence things as much as he would like up to this point. Arsenal able to work it forward. Garner can turn and knock it away from the left-hand side of his own penalty area.
I think you've got to give credit to Ryan Yates and Jack Garner in there. Colback coming in nice and narrow at times, and so is Spence. They're doing a really good job of just nullifying this Arsenal attack and stopping them, getting in little pockets of space. They're making sure they play in front of the Forest players, and if we continue to do that, I need to see more forward runs from Arsenal. Every player on the pitch is looking at the ball and coming to feet. Someone needs to spin out as if similar to what the Forest players have done at times. They've got a man marking them up the backside, they've come to feet and then span out, and that breaks lines.
Now Holding with a good ball over the top down towards the corner flag. Martinelli pulled back towards the edge of the penalty area. Holding trying his luck, really well blocked, and it ricochets away towards halfway, and Keenan Davis is first to it, but he couldn't find a way past Ben White, and Martinelli comes back to pick up the seconds. But that kind of opportunity always prevalent. If Forest can turn over possession deep inside their own half, they have the quality and a very good outball in Keenan Davis to cause Arsenal problems.
And I thought that was a 50-50 foot race between Davis and Ben White, and Davis looked like he thought he could get there, and all of a sudden he put the afterburners on there, Davis, and got there first. I'd like to see him, if he's not sure, instead of gambling, sometimes just secure the ball, stick your backside out, secure it and play backwards rather than going for it all out all the time. It becomes too easy to kind of predict what he's going to try. Keep the ball, bring other players into it, and then get involved in the next phase.
Holding to Patino, and that was a nice touch on the turn to bring Martinelli into him. Lokonga worked forward towards Nketiah. Eddie Nketiah driving inside the penalty area, but McKenna did enough just to make his life difficult, and then Steve Cook did the rest. And Forest get it forward, and Arsenal will pick it up 15 yards outside their own penalty area. Winners of this at home to Leicester in the FA Cup fourth round. Elsewhere, the Premier League sides, Palace are at home to Hartlepool, Southampton at home to Coventry, Chelsea at home to Plymouth, Everton take on Brentford, West Ham go to Kidderminster in one of the ties of the round, Manchester United against Villa, which is live and exclusive on TalkSport tomorrow. Winners of that one at home to Middlesbrough, Tottenham take on Brighton, Cardiff go to Liverpool, Manchester City at home to Fulham, and another all-Premier League tie at Molineux as Wolves meet Norwich. The other ties, Stoke against Wigan, Cambridge's reward for winning at Newcastle is a tie at home to Luton, Peterborough take on QPR, an all-Yorkshire clash between Huddersfield and Barnsley, and Boreham Wood are at Bournemouth. That's the FA Cup fourth round draw. Ødegaard's got possession here for Arsenal. It's 0-0 on TalkSport as we enter the last 5 minutes of the first half. Martinelli in his long sleeves and black gloves. Arsenal, if you're just joining us, wearing an all-white kit today, and we'll hear more about that. Arsenal's No More Red initiative at half-time, an anti-knife crime initiative And we'll hear about that, as I say, in the half-time break in this game. Odegaard playing it forward into the feet of the edge of the penalty area. It just comes off him. Cedric standing a ball up towards the far post. Bounces once. Spence gets his head to it and just flicks it out of harm's way. Makes sure that it goes out for a throw rather than a corner. And it's a throw which will be taken on the Arsenal left-hand side by the substitute Tierney, who gets an immediate return ball, but it had gone out of play, and Holding punches the palm of his left hand with the fist of his right, furious with himself at his inability to play that pass. Throw which will be taken by Forest on the right-hand side. 3.5 minutes to go. A game where chances are very much at a premium. Trevor Sinclair, and don't forget, it is extra time and penalties on the agenda if necessary here.
Yeah, listen, this game's in the balance. I've been really impressed with the organisation, the units, the way that they've dovetailed Nottingham Forest between a 3-4-3 when they've got the ball, and then going into a 5-4-1 when they want to sit a bit deeper and just keep the Arsenal players in front of them. I think I mentioned it earlier. I think all the Arsenal players seem to be coming to feet, and it's only when they spin behind and look to penetrate that line is where they're getting any kind of joy. They need to start doing that much more often, even from the deeper positions. Maybe an Odegaard running in behind, or maybe even a Coutinho. But it's been all too comfortable for Nottingham Forest in this first opening 40-45 minutes, and be interested to see how this change of shape, which we think it must be a change of shape, the substitution between Tavares and Kieran Tierney, whether that's tactical or is that because Mikel Arteta didn't think Tavares was playing well in the game.
Well, sometimes it looks like a back three, and on other occasions it doesn't. It still looks like a flat back four that Arsenal are playing with at the moment. Holding can bring it out from the back and gives it away to Spence. Johnson, who Forest haven't really been able to get into the game quite as much as normal, it just goes back here for McKenna. One observation is that the last 10-12 minutes Arsenal have had much more possession than at any other stage in the game. Spencer's just been caught there by Eddie Nketiah. He left his foot as the ball was played back towards Spencer, and he got it away, and then Nketiah continued to make the challenge. But we're not going to see the second caution against Zinkernagel of Forest. It's the only man that's been booked so far, and Nketiah just gets not even a stern word from the referee, just a cursory word in the ear as he walks past. It will be a free kick to Forest away to our left-hand side. In the last 10 or 12 minutes, we're seeing more Arsenal possession, a few more half chances created, but still nothing really tangible.
No, I mean, I'm looking at Saka, and he's been really quiet. You know, I was so impressed with him in the summer for England, the effect and the way that he could affect the game for England. So brave on the ball. He's still a young player, though, and sometimes with that you do get inconsistencies, and I think too many of the young Arsenal players have been very quiet in this opening 45 minutes. They need to improve on that and showcase who the Premier League players. This Nottingham Forest side, well organised, they're fighting for everything, and they're not just going to allow Arsenal to get on the ball and dictate play.
Ben White in possession, bringing the ball forward towards halfway for Arsenal, and then he pokes it forward towards Cedric, and Cedric looking for the run of Saka ahead of him, just tried to flick the ball around the side of McKenna, couldn't find him. Forest win it back, and Davis will be able to bludgeon his way through the midfield. Lays it off to his right-hand side. Yates, it's a poor pass, because Johnson take up a really good position, and he was helped by Spence's infield movement, which had drawn Martinelli out of the way and created some space, but the ball from Yates went in behind Johnson and goes out of play.
Yeah, I think I look at that and I think Johnson needs to keep the width. There was no real room to try and penetrate, go for an out-to-in run to try and get that straight ball from Yates. He needs to keep the width and keep Arsenal nice and spread. He could do something with the ball.
Zinkernagel bringing it forward, and not for the first time his touch is just too heavy. After a turnover of possession and given Forest a really good opportunity there, we go into one additional minute at the end of this first half, and Arsenal get it forward quickly towards Bukayo Saka. It's got Martinelli and Nketiah to try and aim at. Martinelli's going to be able to bring it down, but he's facing away from goal as he controls it. Tierney busting a gut to try and get there on the overlap for him. The Brazilian tried a shot which was blocked, and it comes back out to Martinelli, but in a much deeper position. Martinelli, who's never scored in the FA Cup. Back inside the centre circle for Ben White, and now he goes out to the right-hand side of the Arsenal midfield for Odegaard. It's 30 seconds of this first half remaining. Bukayo Saka one last Arsenal opportunity potentially. Colback trying to stop the ball coming. It's a very neat 1-2, and then Colback takes matters into his own hands, wrestling Saka to the ground. Well, that's what Saka thought, and then the flag, which was being waved, then gets extended to show that he was offside.
Yeah, he went a little bit early there, Saka. He was trying to get the better of Colback on a little 1-2 with Odegaard, but as he's played it, he's got to just slightly delay that run so he stays onside and then hope that Odegaard can give him the return pass with enough distance so that he can steam past the left back for Nottingham Forest, Colback. He goes too early and he's in an offside position. Colback definitely gets tangled because he doesn't want to let him get goal side, but offside was the right call there.
And the free kick is the last touch of the first half that has been entertaining. It's been intriguing, but we're yet to see a shot on target. That's to the credit of the Championship side. They've soaked up what Arsenal have been able to throw at them. A much changed Arsenal team, notwithstanding the fact that it is still just about as strong as Mikel Arteta could have picked. But we're still waiting for the most significant moment of the night here in the East Midlands. Half-time, it's Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0. Well, the Nottingham Forest support that you can hear behind us in fine voice and in fine mood as well. It's been an excellent three and a half months or so for them since Steve Cooper came to the club. They're hoping for an excellent 3.5 months ahead and the chance to get back into the Premier League for the first time in the 21st century. But what they give for a cup scalp or two along the way. We're back on the way for the second half, and Nottingham Forest are kicking from right to left in their red shirts and white shorts. They're defending the Bridgeford end of the ground and in possession with their captain Worrell played out to the right-hand touchline, and an opportunity now for Forest Jed Spence, who we saw plenty of in attacking context in the early stages, but less so since. He's gone all the way to the byline here for whipping in a right-footed cross, which goes over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. So Forest lining up Samba, and then Worrell, Cook and McKenna, Spence, Yates, Garner and Colback, Johnson and Zinkernagel and Davis. Arsenal, Leno in goal, Cedric White, Holding and Tierney, Patino and Lokonga, Saka, Odegaard and Martinelli, and Eddie Nketiah up front. There's Bernd Leno, but kicks it long, pretty long actually, almost towards the edge of the Forest penalty area. Forest repelled the first threat, and then Colback is fouled by Cedric, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Forest right in front of us. We're about 7 or 8 yards or so inside the half that Arsenal are attacking in this second period in the change kit of all white, as was being explained at half-time. That excellent feature talking about the No More Red anti-knife crime initiative that Arsenal are undertaking at the moment. Forest in their red shirts, played forward. Johnson chasing a long ball from Worrell, but it beats him, goes out of play, and it's in the hands of Bernd Leno. Alongside me, here at the City Ground, Trevor Sinclair.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the tactical battle between these two sides. Obviously, a lot of respect is being given to the Arsenal players in possession in certain areas of the pitch, where they just give it away. But as it gets towards the final third for Arsenal, you can see a well-coached, well-organised side that are sticking to task and doing a really good job.
Spence playing it in towards Davis on the edge of the penalty area. Davis trying to get a shot in on the turn. It was well blocked by Ben White, almost at point of contact. But back to Spence again. Spence to Davis. Davis wriggling away. Couldn't find a way through. Patino stuck his foot in to get it half clear. Forest again. Zinkernagel trying to make something happen. Takes a tumble inside the box. No foul. Arsenal will be able to bring it away again, but don't get too far. And this is a really good start to the second half from Nottingham Forest. Better possession and in better areas as well. A little bit more cut and thrust being shown here. McKenna getting forward, finds Zinkernagel, back from him to Garner, picked up now by Johnson. Johnson coming into a more central area to find Yates, and now Spence will be able to take it up down the Nottingham Forest right. Forced to turn back away by the presence of Martinelli. Then Worrell works it forward and passes it straight to Patino, and he will be able to get Nketiah in. And Eddie Nketiah now with an opportunity to run at Cook. And still he goes, and Cook has defended it really well because he waited and waited, didn't dive in. And then as soon as Nketiah tried his luck, that's when Cook committed himself. He took the sting out of the shot and Samba was able to pick it up.
Yeah, a little bit too predictable there. Good initial movement by Nketiah to break the line. 1 against 1 with the Forest defender. He's showing him down the outside, showing him down the left. Nketiah wants to get it onto his favoured right foot. And he's got buddies in there waiting to help him down the inside. Go down the outside and swing your left foot across the goal. A little bit too predictable there from Nketiah early on in this second half.
Arsenal have only lost 2 of the last 43 FA Cup ties that they played against lower division opposition. One of them was here in 2018. That was the last third round tie which they failed. The last third round tie in which they failed to win. The last one in which they conceded a goal as well. That 4-2 defeat here back in 2018. They were the holders then. Last holders to be eliminated at the third round stage. Remember, the winners of this one have Leicester at home in round 4. And can guarantee that the pick of the ties will be on TalkSport over the course of 4th round weekend, which is February 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. We'll have it all covered for you here on TalkSport. And don't forget, tomorrow, final tie of the round, Manchester United taking on Villa for the right to host Middlesbrough in round 4, and that one's live and exclusive for you on TalkSport from Old Trafford tomorrow. Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray talking through the action of that one. Jim Proudman and Trevor Sinclair for this one, with Forest in possession again, and an opportunity for Johnson to try and dart forward, but it's well covered by Ødegaard, and Leno will come outside his own penalty area to be able to kick it away and find Cedric.
Interesting duel down the left hand side for Arsenal, right hand side for Forest between Kieran Tierney and Spence. Kieran Tierney just got the ball out of his feet there, knocked it about 15 yards down the line and said to Spence, come on then, let's have a foot race. I was very impressed with Spence. Turn of speed, kept him goal side and kept the ball. Had a little one inside when he got there first. Really good defender. He's come across really well for me, first impression today.
And he's got some more defensive work to do now, faced up by Tierney, who's got the ball at his feet, played in then by Martinelli. Loose ball ricochets back out towards the touchline, and Arsenal are able to pick it up again. Work back towards Ødegaard. This is about 10 yards outside the Nottingham Forest penalty area. Arsenal then forced to retreat, go back for White inside the centre circle, and White will emerge and find Ødegaard. Ødegaard down to Cedric again on the right flank for Arsenal. Still 0-0 on TalkSport.
It's all a little bit slow, isn't it? A little bit sluggish, a little bit, you have it, back to me. There's no intensity about this passing move with Arsenal, which is what we've associated with Arsenal for so long over the last, this season for sure, the way that they've been producing performances, and it's been too slow. And I said before the game, 7 changes, that's a lot of changes to put into the starting lineup, and a lot of it because a lot of these players haven't played together before, and I think that's evident.
Kaya Saka's got it from a quickly taken throw on the Arsenal right. Saka right down in front of us. Garner making life difficult for him. Passes it back towards Cedric. He finds White. White now for Rob Holding. Inside the centre circle. Little give and go with Patino. Back for Holding again. Down towards Cedric. And the same accusations can be levelled of this move as several of the previous ones from Arsenal, that it's just a little bit one-paced. Now it goes out towards Tierney on the Arsenal left-hand side. Back towards Holding again.
You've got to give credit to the Forest players as well, and the units and the work that's gone in on the training ground. The 5-3-2, very, very strict, very disciplined. No one's diving in, no silly errors. Even this situation now, just get close, stay on your feet, don't make a mistake. Too easy to defend. Arsenal have got to move the ball a lot quicker.
There was Steve Cook that did defend it, and then Johnson with a lovely turn of pace and a brilliant first touch can get Nottingham Forest going, and he's got support. Zinchenko, good save from Leno. Best chance of the night. Brilliant Nottingham Forest counter-attack, led by Brennan Johnson, who hooked it inside the penalty area. Zinchenko made it really sweetly, and it's a decent stop by Leno, diving down to his left-hand post to tip it away for a corner.
Yeah, great pace shown by Johnson down the right-hand side. As soon as he got there first, we thought they're in trouble here, Arsenal. He got the ball out of his feet, and there was no catching him. Good pick out as well to Zinchenko, who made a late run into the box. Great strike, and you have to say it's a fantastic shot. Stopped by Leno in the goal.
Still 0-0 on TalkSport and Sirius XMFC across the United States. 8 gone second half. In comes the corner. Headed almost away. Will go out for another corner. It came off the top of an Arsenal defender's head. Looked as though potentially it was going to loop towards the far post area, but it went wide, and Colback will come across to take this latest corner, which ties the corner count up at 4 apiece. Forest with 2 early ones in this second half. Now Worrell and McKenna are both forward. In fact, everybody apart from Spence is in and around the edge of the penalty area here for Nottingham Forest as they look to break the deadlock. Colback has got the opportunity to knock it short into the feet of Zinkernagel. Instead, he delivers a deeper one in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Cook was arriving, little bit of a ricochet inside the box, but Arsenal win the pinball, and Martinelli's going to be able to bring it away. And then he checks and turns and finds himself in a yard of space, and Cook has covered 50 yards so quickly to get back into a defensive area. Sweep up, and that was an effort that was recognised by the Nottingham Forest support. It's going to be a very good acquisition for them, Steve Cook.
Yeah, just understanding the urgency in that situation. You make sure you get back in and behind the ball as soon as you can, and he did that really well there, Steve Cook. And what a great pro he's been, you know. He'll be a good influence on this young side and showing exactly the experience that he's got there, understanding that situation and getting back in.
Colback making his way forward down the left-hand side for Nottingham Forest. Level the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Ball in the feet of Zinkernagel. Might break Davis's way. Tried to wriggle and get a shot in on his left foot, and he couldn't. It's back to Colback. Colback and Davis with a little 1-2. And the return ball was overhit, and Colback couldn't wrap his foot around it. Goes out of play for a goal kick, but it's Forest that have started the second half the brighter at 0-0.
Yeah, again, Colback down this left-hand side for Forest, releasing himself in behind, one-on-one with Cedric. Didn't fancy taking him on. I would like to have seen him drive into the box and ask questions of Cedric's defending, especially inside the 18-yard box. He ends up playing a neat little 1-2 with Davis up front, and his touch is just, the 2 is just a little bit heavy and gives the Colback too much work to do, and it goes out for a goal kick. But like you said, Jim, really promising start this by Forest in the second half.
Arsenal determined to play out from the back. White knocking it into the feet of Lokonga. He was fouled by Zinkernagel, and it's a free kick to Arsenal.
He's got to be careful, Zinkernagel. He's been booked. Doesn't want to pick up a second and reduce his team to 10 men. I'd be looking at that if I was Steve Cooper, getting someone to put a little message onto him. Calm down, stay on your feet, stop giving fouls away.
You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on Talk Sport thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label. Bukayo Saka, right-hand side of the penalty area for Arsenal, taking on Colback. Little chip ball into the feet of Nketiah. Saka trying to take it up again. It didn't break for Martinelli. Might break for Tierney. Left-footed effort, deflects away. Arsenal get their first quarter of the second half.
Yeah, it just broke nicely for Kieran Tierney there. You could tell as soon as he got his first touch, about 5 yards in front of him, took him to about 23-24 yards outside the box. He was always going to let fire. Spence covered the ground well to block the shot. Corner for Arsenal.
Which will be taken in front of the Bridgeford end and the travelling Arsenal support.
Been quiet, got to be said, for away fans, been very quiet, the Arsenal fans. Again, credit to Forest, the way they've displayed.
Corner's going to be taken over on the Arsenal left. And it looks as though it's going to be a right-footed in swinging delivery. It's a very congested 6-yard box as it's fired in. First contact from a Forest player, knocked it away from White, and then they can further clear their lines with Yates' touch on the edge of his own penalty area. Brought down at the back by Cedric, worked out towards Saka, and Saka with an opportunity now to hit the space ahead of him. Now he's engaged by Colback, left-footed ball in towards Nketiah, and he's headed it across the face of goal and wide. That was a good chance.
Yeah, fantastic ball. We've seen Saka in this position and not really produce a telling cross. This time, couple of step overs on the right-hand side, brings it onto his left foot, puts it into a delicious area. I think Nketiah has at least got to hit the target, but he'll be disappointed he didn't score that. Great opportunity.
5 goals for Eddie Nketiah in 3 starts this season. But in Premier League games, just 1 in his last 19 matches.
Body language has not been great, Jim. I'm looking at him, just not telling a really positive story. He don't look like he wants to get on the ball. He's not getting many touches of the ball, and when he does, he looks like a frustrated figure.
Well, it's been well documented he's out of contract at the end of the season, and he's said that he doesn't want to sign a new deal. I don't think Arsenal have given up on hopes of retaining him, but there are a number of clubs that have been interested in acquiring him, notably Crystal Palace amongst others. But you look at his performance and you think that judging him solely on the hour that we've seen, and it's unfair to do that on any player, but he hasn't caught the eye tonight against Championship opposition.
He hasn't, and then it's interesting with Bosman, he can go to a foreign club for free below 23, or he has to be above 23 to go to an English club for free once his contract expires.
And he's 22 at the moment. Here's Saka bringing it forward again for Arsenal towards the edge of the penalty area. Half cleared. Cedric takes it on and has fouled his man. Garner's won a free kick. Down in the left back position, and the Nottingham Forest efforts again applauded from those East Midlanders around us. It's just got the feeling, this, with an hour gone, it's only going to take a goal to win it, and you certainly couldn't say at the moment that Arsenal are the more likely scorer.
No, and Bukayo Saka is on the floor. I think he feels like he's caught somebody's arm in his face off the ball. He stayed on the floor. Referee Craig Pawson doesn't want anything to do with it. Free kick to Forest, and the crowd, you can hear the home crowd, they're starting to believe a little bit more. The chances that they're creating, the belief is coming amongst this Forest 11. I think the first goal is going to be really important here.
Results earlier today: Luton, Cardiff, Norwich, Stoke, West Ham and Wolves all safely through. Liverpool came from a goal down at home to Shrewsbury to go through, and Spurs likewise did so at home to Morecambe, having been a goal down 20 minutes to go before a Harry Winks fluke got them back into the game, and it ended up being 3-1. Forest now win a free kick as Yates is shoved to the floor, and this is a central position, maybe just a little bit too central.
I think he's done quite well there, Martinelli, to get away with not get a yellow card. It was a very, very physical challenge. I thought he was just behind the Forest player who was going for the ball. Was it Yates? And he's kind of just absolutely launched himself chest height into him and moved him off the ball. Definitely a foul, but I think he's been quite fortunate not to pick up a yellow card there. But the referee, Craig Pawson's been consistent, and he's not been giving them out willy-nilly, so I think it's the right call.
One other result today, incidentally: Cameroon beat Burkina Faso 2-1 in the opening game in the African Cup of Nations, so the hosts off to a winning start. Now this free kick, as I say, if anything, is slightly too central, not quite the angle on it that Garner might like. 4 in the wall, set up by Bernd Leno, and it is 30 yards from goal. Garner, right-footed, decent effort and well saved. Leno covered the ground to his right, beats it away. Colback then thought that he was fouled right on the left-hand edge of the penalty area as he chased the loose ball. Referee didn't agree, and Arsenal will play out from the back. And Ketchel trying to hold it up, and he was fouled by Garner, who might get a yellow card for some obvious dissent as he picked the ball up and bounced it with all his might into the ground. But Craig Pawson, I think, has understood the fact that tensions are running high, the stakes are high, and just looked at him, nothing more than that. It is a free kick which Arsenal will take 8 yards inside their own half, and it remains 0-0 with the most important moment of the night still lying ahead of us here on TalkSport.
Yeah, fantastic free kick by James Garner, all of 30 yards out, and you're thinking, is that a bit too far? But he backs himself. He's obviously got a little bit in the locket when it comes to free kicks, throws it over the wall, and it's a really good save by Bernd Leno. But I'm looking at this game now, and it's reminding me of the Manchester City game. There's a few Arsenal players out there that look a little bit flustered, a little bit hot under the collar. They've got to keep their discipline, because if they don't, I can see them losing this game.
And they've given another free kick away as Lokonga shoved Johnson to the ground over towards the right-hand touchline. We've seen 4 Premier League teams already eliminated from the FA Cup this weekend: Burnley, Watford, Newcastle and Leeds. Another one will go tomorrow when Manchester United host Aston Villa live and exclusive to TalkSport. But will there be 6 top-flight casualties in round 3? Forest hope that will be the case. Can they find the breakthrough from this free kick, which will be taken over on the right flank? Forest have got 7 in the line, in and around the edge of the penalty area, but no one's picked up McKenna, the deepest of them all. Leno comes out, excellent goalkeeping again from the German, came out and claimed a ball that had a little bit too much air underneath it, and then he bowls it out quickly for Bukayo Saka to bring forward. Nketiah didn't read it. Forest win it back. Ødegaard then puts the pressure on, but Spence is going to be able to lay it back for Samba, who can clear it left-footed towards halfway. Zinkernagel chesting it down, and the free kick then goes Forest's way. And a few more signs of Arsenal descent. They've got to make sure that they don't lose their focus.
Yeah, but you look at their leader, Jim. I'm looking at Arteta, and he's animated. He's so distressed, and the noise that's coming from him, and the movement from his arms, and he looks like he's panicking. And if your manager's going to look like he's panicking, what are the players going to do? They're going to respond from that, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing.
Zinkernagel try to get in, be knocked away by Bernd Leno. Forest about to bring their leading goal scorer Lewis Graben on, which will be their first change. Arsenal made one in the first half. Tierney for Tavares about 10 minutes before half-time, which seemed just to be tactical rather than because of an injury.
This is a high line. I'm looking at the line now, and this is not a deep block. This is a high line. There's no movement. There's got to be a little bounce pass for the trigger, and then an in-to-out run, out-to-win run, come to feet, spinning behind. Start making this difficult for the Forest defenders, because at the moment, they've got a cigar on.
White playing it forward. Colback ready before he got to Ødegaard. Colback then with a touch out towards Keenan Davis, and Colback's continued his run through the middle. Davis has got the ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area. 3 Arsenal players around him, but he was able to maintain possession and go back for Ghana. Right-footed ball in, too close to the keeper, and Leno can make a comfortable stop. This is going to be grabbing for Davis. Davis hasn't seen too much action, and it looks as though he's blowing a bit. But you talked about Zinkernagel being on a yellow card, and the red mist and not being too far away at times, so I just wonder whether it could be Graben and Davis up top in tandem, but I would imagine it is going to be Davis who will come off. We'll find out in a moment. It's 0-0 as the ball is played down to Bukayo Saka, and then worked down the line by Cedric, one back by Ghana. Colback with a safe touch back to his goalkeeper Samba, who's in his 3rd season with Forest, the Congolese international keeper, more than 100 games for the club now. Worrell looks long, too long as it turns out, and it's going to be easy for Rob Holding to mop up at the back, and he'll lay it back again for Bernd Leno. Arsenal beat Forest 5-0 the last time the two sides met, which was a League Cup tie back in 2019, a little bit of revenge for the famous 4-2 defeat here the previous year. No sign of a breakthrough yet. And in fact, just looking at the stats, Arsenal still haven't had a single shot on target. 65% possession in 66 minutes, and not a shot on target.
Too pedestrian. Not enough movement, not enough adventure, not enough creativity.
Will they be able to create now? Excellent challenge from Spence, denies Martinelli the chance to get it across.
Yeah, but at least Martinelli's asking a question. He's not looking for it to feet, because on that side, Spence saying, go and have it to feet. You can't beat me for pace, so unless you do reverse movement and getting behind on the ball in behind, you're not going to beat me. At least Martinelli then looked to go in behind. Spence still managed to get the challenge in, but at least he's asking questions with this, not the first defence.
Well, Davis has had an excellent debut, much more effective in the first half than the second, but he's come off, and Lewis Graben is on. Player scored 10 goals in the Championship this season. His last FA Cup goal 10 years ago, back for Rotherham, so he's due. Here's Nketiah turning inside the penalty area, and he's rifled it over the bar from a really good position. That's another promising opportunity that he hasn't been able to make the most of. Forest have got a player down, just outside their own box. It's Ghana, I think, who's struggling, but he's going to be okay. And Arsenal are going to make a change, and it's going to be Lacazette, and I'm sure it'll be Lacazette for Nketiah, with a quarter of the normal time remaining, potentially still 50 odd minutes ahead of us.
Yeah, he created a good opportunity for himself, Eddie Nketiah there. Got onto the left hand side, really good fleet of feet, went to his left. I thought the angle was always going against him, so what you do in that position, you either chop it back onto your right foot, or you hit across goal. He did neither. High and wide at the near post, it's a waste of a good situation. as he gets more experienced, more mature, he will make better calls in them situations, but on that occasion that was a poor decision.
Yeah, he's still a young striker with less than 100 first-team games in his career, those at Arsenal and the loan spells that he's had as well.
It'll be one of them, Jim, where I would have thought, looking at his body language, looking at the performance tonight, he's not going to be very keen on signing for Arsenal, because Arsenal are probably going to go in the market to either keep Lacazette or go in the market and bring some big striker in who's going to be expected to play. So why would he stay? But he'll be one of them players that'll leave and probably come back to haunt Arsenal, unfortunately.
So Arsenal make the change, and it's Lacazette for Patino as opposed to Lacazette for Nketiah. And the Frenchman's going to come on and play in the number 10 role. So Ødegaard's going to play that little bit deeper alongside Lokonga.
Yeah.
And Lacazette will play in the hole in a 4-4-1-1. Long ball fall from the back from Forest, flicked on by Ødegaard towards his own penalty area. Graben trying to make life difficult, and has done so. He's won a corner off Ben White.
Yeah, good positive play. He's fresh. The manager would have said to him, get on that pitch and bring a positive vibe. As soon as he got the ball, he ran at his man, gone towards the byline, looked to get his cross, and he's won his team a corner.
Corner taken short by Ghana. Zinchenko on the corner of the penalty area. Ghana spends just the cross purposes, and in the end Forest working all the way back for Samba, who's some way outside his penalty area. He clears it left-footed, headed back, knocked up by the tall dark-haired McKenna, and then he will then get a second opportunity. Just threads it for Ice. A lovely touch from Worrell to Colback over the top. Graben chasing. Forest have got to play it down after an off-the-ball collision in the midfield, and as Forest work it forward, Graben's offside, and Craig Pawson will just stop play, and so he can see whether any treatment is necessary for the Forest player who's lying stricken in that midfield area. Yeah. That allows Mikel Arteta the opportunity just to have a few words with Bukayo Saka, who's right in front of him, and there's plenty of tension on that Arsenal bench still. They know that they're very much in a game here. 20 minutes of normal time remaining. It's 0-0 on TalkSport. Yeah, a little coming together there between Ben White, and I'm just trying to look at the player. Is it Zinchenko? I'm not sure. Yes, it is, yeah, coming together. Zinchenko was looking to penetrate in behind with a run off the ball, and Ben White, probably using his experience, has seen that run, kind of just stayed in his position and just blocked him out there, and he went to ground. Looks like he's okay, back on his feet. Now play's going to resume with a free kick to Arsenal. You're listening to live coverage of the FA Cup on TalkSport. Thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Contains coal tar. Always read the label. Don't forget, from 4 a.m. every weekday morning, you can download the TalkSport Daily podcast, which will include some of the best bits from TalkSport and TalkSport 2 over the last 24 hours. So TalkSport Daily, you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Acast. And your chance to react to an enthralling weekend of FA Cup football at the conclusion of this game, right here on TalkSport. Ben White back for Cedric. Cedric taking a touch, goes back inside his own half, works it into a deeper position for Holding, who's hoping that Lightning doesn't strike twice. He was in the Arsenal side, but got beaten here in the FA Cup 4 years ago. Played forward towards Ødegaard. Now Lacazette's got it, and Lacazette with an opportunity to run at the back line, but Ghana comes across to clear and sweep up, but he can't find Johnson. Goes out of play for an Arsenal throw. Alex Lacazette, if he scores tonight, will be the 200th goal of his career. Wow. It would also be his first ever goal in the FA Cup. That's unbelievable. Not too many strikers have won it and never scored in it, but Alex Lacazette is one of them. Here's Ben White. Plays his role so well though, Lacazette, and in this young side he's got a real responsibility. Ødegaard's been fouled, and Lacazette with purpose strides forward towards the ball here. He does play this slightly developed role that he's got now, playing deeper behind the central striker. Really suits him, and he's another that's had a contract, and his future is very much up in the air. It's not going to be talked about at the end of the season, but you cannot in any shape or form level any accusation that he's not given 100% every time he comes on the field. He's carried himself superbly well.
You know, he's took responsibility, he's played his part, he's kept fit, he's kept his mouth shut as well. You know, when things haven't been going well at the club, he's kept his counsel, and you have to respect players like that, because that's what managers want. They want players like that are not going to cause extra noise by coming out and doing interviews and saying this and that.
In comes this Arsenal free kick. It's very deep, too deep, over the head of the retreating McKenna. And out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Sambo. It's a very poor delivery from Cedric. And the centre-halves who've made their runs forward just give him a little old-fashioned look as they make their runs all the way back.
Give him a chance. Give the boys a chance to get first contact on that ball. They've not looked like scoring Arsenal tonight. You know, they've had 5 shots in this game, not one of them on target. And you look at Forest, they've had 3 shots on target and they've looked like scoring. Leno's had to make some really good saves.
That's a really good strong run through the midfield, and Spence was upended. There was an angry reaction from him as well, and that's going to be a yellow card for Martinelli.
People say take one for the team there, Martinelli. He's been shown a clean pair of heels by Spence, who's been excellent all night down that right hand side, and for me that's not taking one for the team, that's cheating. Work hard to get back goal side. If Carmen has anything to do with this, they'll score from this free kick.
Forest are going to make another change, incidentally, and Cafu. No, not that one.
Oh, God, I'm starting to sweat then.
Listen, he's older than you.
Mate, listen, he's abnormal. He's got like 14 lungs and doesn't stop running. I've called my dog Cafu because he man-marks me around the house like Cafu man-marked me out of that game.
Because he's got 2 left feet. Your dog.
He's a machine.
Cafu's coming on, and he's replacing Zinkernagel.
I think that's sensible, good management. Like we mentioned earlier, Zinkernagel's had a yellow card. Just as towards this back end of the game now, make sure that you don't go down to 10 men. Really sensible decision. And I'm sure Steve Cooper will be saying that to him, managing his players well. Nice and calm, arm round him. You've been booked. Like he's telling him now, I remember where the challenge was. Yeah, that could have been a red card, that could have been your second yellow.
So he's off and Cafu is on, and the free kick is heading towards the edge of the Arsenal penalty area, but easily cleared. And Lacazette volleys it further away, and then Ødegaard further still, but far too much on that. It's going to drift out of play for a Forest throw. So what the man that's just come on, Cafu, only started 2 games all season for Forest, but he has won the domestic cup competition in Poland and in Greece as well. So he knows what it takes to be part of a cup-winning side. Well, the Portuguese attacking midfielder is on and right in front of us with his black gloves. Beaten in the air by his compatriot Cedric. Holding with a little touch. It's a nice touch back down towards Cedric. Controls it on his thigh. Tries to spear it over the top for the run of Lacazette. Colback then is put under pressure by Saka. And it's unfair pressure. It's a free kick which will be taken by the man from the North Country. Just a yard in from the left-hand touchline. He's gone back for his goalkeeper. And time running out for either of these sides to find the breakthrough in regulation time. 14 minutes to go. And it's Nottingham Forest 0, Arsenal 0 on TalkSport.
Well, you did call it, Jim. You said this has got extra time and penalties all over it. I'm hoping that we get a bit of a ding-dong of a finish. And there's a few goals towards the end of this 90 minutes. I think the more likely have been Forest. They've looked more creative in that final third, more penetrative and more dangerous. Arsenal need to find the chemistry within this side, within this group of players, to start opening this Forest defence up, who looks very, very good.
Balls with Ben White. Ball from him to Lokonga. Back for White again. Remember, it is an Arsenal side who are without Partey, El Neni, Pepe, Aubameyang. Not that he would have been considered anyway. Gabriel, who's suspended. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who left the club this week to go to Roma. No Granit Xhaka here. Tomiyasu hasn't travelled either. No Emil Smith-Rowe. So, yeah, on paper it's a weakened, not a weak, a weakened Arsenal side, but through necessity, not through choice of Mikel Arteta. He has rotated the goalkeepers, but other than that, it's been almost as strong as it could have been, really.
Yeah, and when Sam Rosbottom came on and gave the odds, I was surprised how far outside Forest were, especially with what you just said there, the players that are missing from this game. It's almost a second fiddle, without being disrespectful. A lot of these players wouldn't start for Arsenal if they had all the players available at their disposal.
Well, another Forest player has been booked. I think it was Worrell for a foul over on the far side. A crowd of just a few under 25,000 here at the City ground.
I think Spence did get booked there, didn't he?
Spence, yeah. Jed Spence, the player that was cautioned, I beg your pardon, over on that far side. And the free kick's been given the other way to Arsenal.
I think that's been a little bit of head loss after he was taken out earlier by Martinelli. He's got to calm down. Don't let the opposition affect your game and affect your decision making.
Now ball play forward, it's Saka, the angle is tight, he's checked it back onto his left foot, plays it in. Couldn't find Lacazette, who's sliding in, and the presence of Worrell did just enough to make sure he couldn't get anything on it. Worrell and Samba congratulate each other, and Forest survived. They haven't had much to survive, but that was a perceptive ball in from Saka, and it was very well defended.
Yeah, brilliant by Joe Worrell, or else that would have been a tap-in from Lacazette. He realised the danger, especially when Saka slowed things down this right-hand side. He picked out the perfect pass, but that's brilliant covering, understanding the danger, getting yourself between the goal and the player and making sure that he gets no contact on that ball from about 4 yards out. Excellent play by Joe Worrell.
So Arsenal have won the Cup 4 times in the last 8 years, but are they going to be able to make it through to round 4 this time around? 11 minutes of normal time to go. Extra time and penalties lying ahead of us if necessary. Is there going to be late drama, or is it going to be an attritional battle that goes the full distance? Ball out of play for a throw that Jack Colback will take. Colback, who reached 2 FA Cup quarter-finals in his Sunderland days. He was in the Sunderland side but knocked Arsenal out of the Cup back in the day, some 10 years ago. White turning it forward, it's hit Cafu. Arsenal able to bring it forward, but Ødegaard wasn't too sure where the ball had gone. Graben has come back and picked his pocket. Lovely little touch forward, a little chip from Garner. Trying to find Lewis Graben, whose first touch was good, and then his industry has seen him win it back, but the referee has pointed to an infringement out by the touchline. It was Graben who was the perpetrator, and it's a free kick to Arsenal 10 minutes ago.
I think that's the wrong call there from Craig Paulson. I know why he's giving it. There was a free kick in the corner against Arsenal, but it was about 2 or 3 seconds ago. They'd got out of that situation and they were going into the next phase, and then they lost the ball and he pulled it back for that free kick. I think that's wrong.
Tierney back towards Ødegaard. Both sides able to make 5 substitutions. You don't get a 6th in extra time. If it does go to extra time, you don't get the opportunity to make another one, as Exeter City found to their potential cost in a cup tie earlier this season, forced to replay their tie, but they still ended up going through. You do only get 5 in the 120 minutes, and up to this point both sides have only made 2. Forest still have Figueiredo, João Carvalho, Bon, Shandy Silva, Ayeda and Lyle Taylor on the bench. Arsenal can still call upon Chambers, Pablo Mari, Kolasinac, youngster Birath, and then fellow teenagers Hutchinson and Saladin Ulad and Hand, the Dutch central midfielder. So those are the men that could be called upon if necessary. Into the final 10 of normal time. Ben White bringing the ball forward for Arsenal. Works it into the feet of Lokonga.
Looks a bit leggy there, Lokonga. I think he might have just got a little bit of cramp in his calf.
Back he goes to Holding.
Oh, sorry,
it's Nketiah, yeah.
Nketiah, yeah.
Over on that right-hand side. Now a chance for Forest to win it back and bring it forward. First time ball inside the area. Graben! Well, he's waited 10 years for it, but boy, has he picked his moment. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area, and Lewis Graben slides it in. Nottingham Forest, the only side to have beaten Arsenal in the 3rd round of the FA Cup in a generation. And are they about to show that lightning does strike twice? Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 0 with 7 minutes to go.
I've got to say what a finish that was, but the ball in, it was almost unmissable. All you have to do is make sure you read the flight of the ball, cover it so it doesn't go through you, and that is going to end up in the back of the net. I'm just looking at it there. Craig Pawson, he's got his hand to his ear. I don't think we've got VAR in the stadium tonight. The goal will stand. It's a brilliant cross, almost unmissable, but Grabham does what he's done 10 times already this season for his Forest side, and he scores his 11th goal of the season.
He only scored one Premier League goal in his career, Lewis Grabham, and it came against Arsenal. And he's just scored a goal against them again that might knock the 14-time winners out of the FA Cup. 7 minutes to go. Arsenal trailing by a goal to nil, and the Gunners weren't happy. They thought there might have been a handball in the build-up to it, but Craig Pawson, not happy with the Arsenal protest, said that there was nothing wrong with it. Now the Gunners look for an equaliser, and it's a free kick which will be taken on the right-hand touchline. Lacazette stands on the edge of the D. 5 forward for the Gunners, looking for an immediate response to level it. Cedric bending it inside the box, and the header goes wide via a deflection. It's out of play for an Arsenal corner, which is their first for a while. 6 to go, they trail 1-0.
Yeah, good defending again, getting the first contact in a dangerous position from the Forest defenders. Headed it out for a corner. They've got to deal with this next situation.
Again, they flood the 6-yard box, a real fight scene in there. Good defensive header from Colback. Not a good touch back to Ødegaard on the Arsenal right. High up and under from him is headed away. Now an opportunity for Brennan Johnson to try and break, and he's got away from Cedric. He's got Cafu up with him. Still Johnson goes. Cedric labouring, trying to stay with him. And he'll be picked up on the left-hand side. Johnson still having it. Will take a touch down towards the corner flag. Keeping in by the touchline. Great pirouette. And eventually wins the throw. Efforts loudly applauded by the Nottingham Forest fans.
Yeah, Johnson did superbly well there. Often down the right-hand side for Forest. This time, once again, as he did in the first half, finds himself one against Cedric, and he's got him for pace. He kept the ball really well, taking the pressure off his team, and it's exactly what Steve Cooper would have wanted from the winger at this stage in the game.
Colback takes the throw. Put out of play by Saka. Burnley out, Watford out, Newcastle and Leeds both out. The Gunners going to be a 5th Premier League scalp before a 6th, which is guaranteed tomorrow night when Manchester United take on Villa exclusively on TalkSport. Still time for Arsenal, but not much of it on a night where they haven't yet had a shot on target. Samba gets it away. High ball over the top. Spence chasing after it. Tierney got there, heads it out. It's a throw to Forest down by the corner flag. And if they can keep the ball down there for the next 5 minutes, they've won.
Said the first goal is going to be really important. About 20 minutes ago, the fans have reacted superbly well. The atmosphere at the City Ground is superb. And what a performance this has been. They've not given one shot away on target. They defended really well. The units look good. Well, the patterns of play have been good, and the roles that the team have played, the individual players within this team, they've done it superbly well. Great performance from the Championship side.
Arsenal have only lost 4 of their last 31 FA Cup ties. A quarter-final to Watford. Beaten at Southampton last year. Manchester United in 2019. And here at the City Ground in 2018. Nottingham Forest only a few minutes away from a repeat. Samba picking the ball up. Now, was that a back pass? No. It certainly looked like it from McKenna. Off his knee. The referee says that's fine.
I think Nketiah was just trying it on there.
Samba stumbling as he eventually clears his lines from the edge of his own penalty area. Forest 1, Arsenal 0. We're in the 88th minute live on TalkSport. But for people of of our generation, Trevor, the third round weekend of the FA Cup has always been one of the best in the football in Canada. He's lived up to it this year. It's Grabban as he looks for two, played in by Cafu. Yates will try and take it on. Lacazette knocks it away. Has been a weekend that's had just about everything. And is it going to have a top four scout now? It looks that way at the moment. Ødegaard has been fouled, and it's a free kick which is going to be taken by Arsenal, but inside their own half. A lot of the Forest fans around us can't look. They're looking at their watches, they're looking at their phones, they're just turning around looking at anything, the roof of the stand. They can't bear to see what could be an equalising goal, but Arsenal at the moment don't look as though they're going to score one. Kolasinac is going to come on for them in a moment. The ball is played back inside Forest territory, and now Arsenal will be able to break again down the left-hand side. And Kedia trying to get into the middle, got something on it. Colback can do likewise and chest it down to his goalkeeper. Samba will pick it up, and by the time he gets rid of the ball, we'll almost be in the last minute.
Yeah, again, great management there. Colback as cool as you like. There's an early run to the near post as the ball comes in from Kieran Tierney. Nice flick, I think, from Nketiah just to keep it alive, and then cool as you like by Colback, just chesting it back to your goalkeeper Samba. No panic, and that's been their performance. That's epitomised their performance tonight. Cool, calm, understanding, and when they got that one real quality chance, they finished it off really well with Grabban. Been unconvincing tonight, Arsenal. Look like a side that have made 7 changes. No patterns of play, no passages of play. You know, they've been stuttering. Very, very unconvincing performance, unfortunately.
Saka has it now on the right-hand side. Gets it away from Colback, gets a return ball, but his touch then was heavy, and Steve Cook gets it away. Long ball upfield. You think ahead to Arsenal's next game, which will also bring you here on TalkSport from Anfield on Thursday night. First leg of their League Cup semi-final. You wonder how many changes they will be able to make to this side because of all the absences that we detailed earlier.
And then they've got an easy one after that, Spurs. So, all the best.
And then Liverpool at home. Here's Ben White. All eyes on the fourth official, Kevin Friend. How many extra minutes are going to be added on? How many minutes separate Nottingham Forest from a place in the fourth round? It's only 3. Here's White. Inside the centre circle. Chipped out to the left-hand side for Tierney. For the impressive Jed Spence, who would certainly be a candidate for the Man of the Match award.
Yeah, great starting position. He's nice and narrow, getting himself the right distance, so if it does go wide, he can get there and possibly intercept the pass, and that's exactly what he did. You don't want to go out too early and enable a player to run from out to in and get the ball inside you, so you let him have it out, but if it's not a perfect pass, you can go and intercept that. He did that superbly well, and you look at the Forest fans there, they're keeping the ball.
The change that Arsenal have made has seen Kolasinac come on for Cedric, and Kolasinac has gone out to the left. I'm not too sure who's going to be playing on the right-hand side. I think they're going to a back 3 now. Saka at right wing-back. Couple of minutes of stoppage time to go. Should be elongated very slightly because of that change. Long throw, launched inside the Forest penalty area. Header away, firstly from Yates, volleyed away, high up in the air from Spence. White with a good header out towards Tierney. And Arsenal still maintaining possession. Can they get a quality ball inside the Forest penalty area? They need to. Lewis Grabban's goal, the difference between the sides, with about 2 minutes of playing time to go. 1-0 Forest here on TalkSport. Martinelli threading it down the line. Worrell trying to stop the cross coming in. Hit it into Tierney. It's then cleared by Spence out of play for another throw. Everybody apart from Grabban is back for Nottingham Forest. Trying to stop Arsenal getting their first shot on target of the night. It's going to be a long throw. Ødegaard scored. Couple in the position looking for a flick on. Ødegaard can't find that flick on. Half cleared. And then it's knocked away. There's a foul on the edge of the penalty area. And it's a free kick to Forest. And a chance just to run the clock down. And as soon as the whistle goes, about 3 Forest players go down, and they're just trying to manage the situation from here. Yates is back on his feet. Worrell's okay as well. And play will restart with a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, out in a wider position. In fact, the referee, it's a throw. It was a free kick.
Yeah, it's a foul throw. I think that kind of reflects the performance from Arsenal tonight. Such an underwhelming performance, especially after that first half against Manchester City, where I thought they were exceptional, and thought if this is the Arsenal we've got to look forward to, what a great future the club have got. But tonight, they've just not been at it. 7 changes, a lot of inexperienced players in there, and it's caught with them because it's too many changes, and Forest have thoroughly deserved this game.
Samba's got the ball in his hands. The Forest goalkeeper gets it upfield. Only seconds remaining. It's all about how many extra seconds the referee's going to add on for the substitution. It's gone out of play for an Arsenal throw. That might just about be that. Craig Dawson's got the whistle in his hand. He puts it to his mouth and then takes it away. Checks the watch again. Lightning has struck twice. For only the second time in 26 years, Arsenal are beaten in the third round of the FA Cup. And on both occasions, it has been here at the City Ground. A much changed Arsenal side, unable to quench the Forest fire. And in keeping with the improvement that Nottingham Forest have shown under Steve Cooper over the last 3 months, they sat in, they defended with resilience, they offered plenty going the other way, and they took the one gilt-edged chance they created. Lewis Grabban, the top scorer, with his first FA Cup goal for a decade, but it is one they won't forget in these parts. Another engaging chapter, an enthralling weekend of FA Cup football on TalkSport. Nottingham Forest have dumped the 14-time winners Arsenal out of the FA Cup, the biggest scalp to fall on this weekend so far. Nottingham Forest setting up a Midlands derby with Leicester, having beaten Arsenal by a goal to 0.